I think I'm live. I have my computer here and you are here. So, let me see. If you are here, please say live if you're live or replay if you are here for the replay. Oh, this is going to be confusing looking at myself twice. So I'm just going to scroll. I want to be able to see your comments and I want to, I have some notes, yada, yada. So live if you're live, replay if you're replay. Hello, Tara. Love to have y'all here. So this is a setting your caloric deficit live. So if you need help setting your caloric deficit or you've tried to set your caloric deficit and it's just not getting anywhere or you're not sure if you did it right, I'm going to walk you through it. Hello, everyone. I see hellos. I have notes here. To be honest, I am feeling a little bit today. I got my little friend and it was very unexpected. So I have all my notes. So I want to make sure I say everything that I want to say. And we're just going to get right to it. Okay. So a caloric deficit occurs when you consistently provide your body with fewer calories than it needs to support calories expended. So calories used. So a lot of us miss the second part to that. So fewer calories than it needs to support what is expended. So it still means you need a certain amount. Okay. That's important. So, what this means is your body needs a certain amount of calories to function. If you go below that line, not good. So, I closed my door because it was loud, but I'm sweating, so I'm going to open it. Say hello to my kitchen. I need a little draft, to be honest, again. So if you can eat as healthy as you want, you can eat less and less. It doesn't matter. You need a certain amount. And if you're eating less and less, you're literally not giving your body enough to function or lose weight. Okay. So for example, I don't know why I love using like gardening and yard examples. I don't have either, but I like to use that. So for example, if let's say you want to put fertilizer in your garden and it's spring, so you're going to put fertilizer in there. So you put an ounce of fertilizer to cover your entire yard. Okay. So now maybe if you have an ounce of yard, that would be useful, but ideally you would need a lot more than that. So if you only have an ounce, and then you wait, okay, better yet, you put the ounce of fertilizer down. And then a few weeks later, you're like, why the heck isn't anything growing or looking lush? Well, you only gave your flowers an ounce of fertilizer. So, but let's look at it from the other perspective. Let's say you have your yard and you put 5,000 ounces or 5,000 pounds of fertilizer in your yard. You will come out a few weeks later if you can fit in your yard of fertilizer and you will see your yard is probably not looking the way that you want it to because your yard needs a certain amount. That's why they say on the bag, per whatever, have this amount. I don't know verbatim what the bag says, but the bag says it. So it is really important for you to have a certain amount. So let me make this more applicable to you. So I had a client and she came to me and was like, I've been working out really consistently. I have been eating like less and less, trying to get stay in this caloric deficit. I dropped a bunch of weight and now like I'm stuck, like I'm not getting anywhere. And when I looked at her calorie intake, she was eating about 600 calories. So for what she should have been doing, she should have been at like almost 2,000 to be in a deficit. Okay. Because for the amount she was working out and all of that, she needed to be at a higher to still be in a caloric deficit. So what we started to do was to get her into a caloric deficit, we had to increase her calories. So, and we're still working on it because, you just adjust in that way. We started to increase her calories and she started that totally freaked me out. My other thumb was moving and I was like, something's behind me, sorry. And so what started to happen is we started to increase her calories and the weight started to drop. Her exercise performance increased and the inches were going down. So a lot of times you can do things like keto or something like that and you will see weight loss, but you won't see fat loss. If you are not eating a sufficient amount of calories, it's pointless. Like, you may lose weight, you won't lose fat. Your body will actually hold on to fat your body will hold on to fat and eat your muscle if you don't give it enough food. Okay? So if you're noticing like you've been dieting, you're losing weight, and your butt's getting a little saggy and you still have fat, it's because you're not eating enough. Okay? So there are 3 ways you can go into caloric deficit. You can increase your movement, increase your movement, decrease your calories, or appropriately, or do both. So a good caloric deficit restricts you only enough to force your body to burn stored fat, but not enough to affect your muscles, your recovery, all of that. If you are feeling super, super fatigued, that is a good sign you're not eating enough. So I've worked with people before that they're like, yeah, I'm like super exhausted. Okay, let's see what happens over these next few days. If you start to get into a better spot, awesome. If not, we need to increase your calories because that's a sign, not good. You're exhausted. I remember I had a friend, she was a trainer and she was all about like no carbs, no this, no that. She was exhausted all the time. All the time. Nobody wants that. Who wants to be tired all the time? Not me. I have great energy. I'm trying to convince you of that. Not really. I don't need to. This is why I have notes so I don't get sidetracked. So, what you want to do is you want to do a moderate caloric deficit, maximize your fat loss, minimizing your muscle loss. You may lose a little bit of muscle if you've been like putting on a bunch of muscle recently. But anyway, now that I've told you all the reasons why it's important, let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to give you an e-guide, okay? So some of you might have this e-guide already. If you don't, you're welcome. I'm gonna get it for you. Server encountered an error. That's great. Server encountered an error. That's fabulous. Okay, let me just give it a second. Okay, here we go. Share. How helpful is this? Anyone who gets the link, copy link. Popping it in for you. There it is. Okay, if the link doesn't work, let me know. You're just gonna have to copy it and paste it. Whoa. Okay, there it is. There it is. It's all popped up. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna open that up. Okay, so I'm literally going to walk you through this. All right. If you don't have time to like sit and really write this down, fear not. You can come back to this later. Also, for all my app users, this will be uploaded to the app. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what you're gonna do is basically everything that's in the little blurb there, I already told you. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll down. You see calculate your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. Okay, that's a big funky word, but it's what it means. Okay, all right, so what you're gonna do is first, you're going to know your body weight. So in case you're all wondering, I'm 140 pounds. So I'm gonna just let you all know that now. So I am at 140 pounds, okay? And what you're going to do then is you are going to assess, all right, am I at low intensity training, moderate intensity training, high intensity training? Example of these, low intensity training, if you do like super basic workouts. So like if you, and it has to be low for you. So something that's low for you might be high for me or vice versa. So for me, I work out moderately intense, moderate intensity, moderately intense. So, and what that looks like is that's my basic, advanced, intermediate portion in my app. So I'm not like a high intensity would be like you're doing HIIT or you're doing CrossFit or something like that. That is more high intensity. So I'm at about a 9, all right? And average number of training hours, I work out about 4 times a week for a half hour 2 hours. Boom. Okay. So that would bring me from A plus average number of training hours, I would be at 11. All right. And then my body weight is 140 pounds. So if you multiply 11 by 140, you get 1,540. Okay. So, then what you're going to do is you're going to scroll it down. My TDEE is 1,540. So that's how much I burn. So what you want to be doing then is eating a little less than that. So to calculate your deficit, you're going to multiply by 0.8. Okay? And that's the number of calories you need for fat loss. Now, this is a super basic format. I use this for my clients. And so then the amount of calories I would be at is 1,232 calories. That is for me in a caloric deficit. Now, let's say I started to work out a little bit more. Like right now I'm playing softball. So that would add my workout length a little bit more, right? So you would include things like spin, running. That would be included in your hours of exercise. Walking, no. I'm a walker, but not included. But I think I said spin, running, all of those things you would want to include in that into your caloric deficit. So now, something that is so important that you cannot forget. You go into a caloric deficit, you cannot stay there forever. Something that I teach all my clients is for 12 to 16 weeks, you are in that caloric deficit. After that, get out of it. So, a little secret for you is, let's say you want to now go into more of like maintenance and increase your calories. I already gave you your maintenance calories. That's your TDEE. That's your maintenance calories. So if you want to, now let's say you lost weight or you increased your exercise, you got to go back to that and manipulate that a little bit. Now, if you're a client of mine, you know how to do that and make those little adjustments. It doesn't need to be so calculated. Once you get more comfortable, like I don't recalculate mine anymore at all. You can get a little bit more comfortable in just manipulating it how you want to. And it's a little bit of a rabbit trail, but I'm going to tell it anyway. I went into my first caloric deficit years ago. So my body is able to handle more calories in a deficit. So I have not eaten 1,200 calories in years. Okay. So right now I'm in a like more maintenance, well over 2,000. So if I wanted to be in a deficit, I would drop a little bit, but not down to that. So Maria, you're making it so confusing. No, I'm just letting you know that this is a tool. These are all tools. So you want to adjust them to how your body's feeling, how your body's responding. For me, I started to drop my carbs and stuff and I'm like, I'm not into this. I'm not really interested in being in a deficit. Meg would know exactly what I'm talking about. We went through this together. I'm not interested. So, if you guys have any questions about the caloric deficit, please drop it in the comments and I will address it either now, at the end, or later. I'll come back to it. But now you have your maintenance calories, you have your caloric deficit calories. Maria, I thought you didn't go by calories. I do not go by calories. I go by macros. What are macros? I have a video within this group that explains to you what macros are. In short, macros are the breakdown of calories. In every calorie, there is a macro. So for example, I was not going to show you this. This is like my new thing, Asian style trail mix. There is 150 calories in a serving of this trail mix. Within that is 17 grams of carbs. That is a macro. That's an example of a macro. So now, do I think you should be going by calories? No. I think you should be going by macros. But what you can do now is you can download MyFitnessPal. You can plug in the calories that you want. that you just did. And then whatever MyFitnessPal suggests to you, for the breakdown of macros, go with it, try it, see how it works for you. Make sure you're tracking different forms of progress to see if your body's responding well. If your body's responding well, you're welcome. Okay? So, like I said, don't stay in this deficit for too long. You don't want to be in it longer than 16 weeks because your body will begin to plateau. Your metabolism begins to shut down. You need to feed it so it can continue moving on. Okay? I mean, so it can get revved up again and burn your fat. Okay? So, and second thing, like I said, if you don't work with me, then you can plug it into MyFitnessPal. You can see what MyFitnessPal suggests. Do I think that their numbers are rock solid? Absolutely not. No. They give you a very general number, but it's a baseline that you can work off of. So you can plug the calories in that you just calculated. It will give you macro recommendations based off of that. Try it. See how your body responds and go for it. Okay? If you are interested in understanding or learning more about what I do with people one-on-one, you can message me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, and I can give you more information on just what I do, what I offer, and how I work with people. But I think this is a really great spot for you to start in just getting an understanding of calories and seeing how your body responds to it. It's worth the try. So, if anybody has any questions, drop them. If not, I will, I should be having my comments up. I'm pulling them up. So yes, like I said, if anybody has any questions, you can drop them in now, drop them in later. If you calculate it, it doesn't make sense. All the things, if your link isn't working, whatever that looks like, let me know. But I hope this was helpful. Like I said, if you're here live, drop live. Thank you ladies for joining. If you're here on the replay, drop replay. Any questions, you let me know. Thank you so much for joining. Have an awesome Wednesday.